If there's anything that a themed entertainment lover knows, it's that America has an extensive history of roadside attractions. When long-distance road travel became attainable and popular in the 1920s, entrepreneurs began building restaurants, motels, and more unusual businesses to attract travelers. But with the construction of the U.S. interstate highway system in the mid-1950s, many roadside attractions were bypassed and quickly went out of business. Some remained attractive enough to divert travelers from the interstate, and some fizzled out into oblivion. And some sprang out in the 1970s, only to survive with blazing fury like a meteor, made of some otherworldly substance that us humans cannot possibly fathom. Look closer. It's a bald head wrapped in cabbage leaves, barreling down to Earth. And it's headed straight for rural Georgia. So today we're going to be talking about Babyland General Hospital in Cleveland, Georgia. They advertise this all over their website that they're one of Travel Channel's top 10 toylands, which that list does not exist.
It's not real. We looked everywhere on the internet and the only thing that we could find was someone else saying they also couldn't find it.
Yeah. So here's an excerpt taken straight from the website.
Mother Cabbage is always on display beneath the branches of the magic crystal tree. Our magical cabbage patch is tended by our licensed patch doctors and nurses. Babyland General Hospital is the only place in the world where you can witness the birth of a hand-sculpted Cabbage Patch Kid. Most of our guests spend at least 1 hour here.
Most guests spend at least an hour here.
Which, me and Aubrey were trying to do the math on this. It's so massive, it would take probably around 8 to 10 minutes just to get to the building.
Through the 650 acres.
I've browsed Bed Bath & Beyond for more than an hour.
Just a little brief history on how big of a freaking zeitgeist Cabbage Patch Kids were, in case you don't know. They were a cultural phenomenon.
It was the most important thing. I asked my mom about it, and she said that people were clawing at each other.
There were riots.
There were riots.
There were literal riots for trying to buy them for Christmas.
You couldn't get one of these things if you wanted to.
Cabbage Patch Kids were born out of the brain of Xavier Roberts in the late 1970s when he learned a German needle molding technique and started creating soft sculptures he called Little People. He won a first place ribbon at the Osceola Art Show with Dexter. So this is little Dexter getting dubs.
Is that a diploma?
Soon after this, parents were eager to adopt his Little People at the staggering price of $40 a pop, which is equivalent to $148 in today's money.
$148.
Yeah.
Nowadays, people are like, my kid spent $15 on Fortnite coins.
By 1983, the dolls, now going under the name Cabbage Patch Kids, had 3 million adopted, and they go on record as the most successful new toy in the toy industry history. This is Xavier Roberts.
Also known as Zay Zay. He wasn't known as Zay Zay. That's my headcanon. So he wears a Crocodile Dundee hat because he wants to intimidate you because he thinks the babies make him look soft. That's canon. So
Stop making up facts about him.
No.
In 1985, Christopher Xavier becomes the first Cabbage Patch Kid to journey into outer space as a passenger on the U.S. Space Shuttle. Ground control to Major Tom. Earth below us, drifting slowly. Oh my god.
in my headcanon, there was no humans aboard that trip.
It's just him.
This was the leader of the mission. Hey, Elon Musk who, honestly?
In 1992, the Cabbage Patch Kids are honored by being named the first official mascot of the U.S. Olympic team.
How can a Cabbage Patch Kid look so 80s? Other people's mascots are like their animal. So like Russia would be like, I don't know, like a bird or something like that. And then we had these fools.
And then in 2000, the Cabbage Patch stamp goes on sale.
This is godly. That's how I want to be looked at. Do you know?
Aww.
Do you know when
I don't look at you like that.
No. Never. You've never looked at me like that. Are you kidding me? That's the most loving look a physical piece of matter could give one other piece of matter.
Do you guys get the picture? They were a huge cultural deal in America. A cultural reset, basically. Okay, so let's rewind back to 1978 when Dexter was getting his dubs. After returning home to Georgia, Xavier organized...
Also known as Dr. X.
and Zay Zay. renovated the L.G. Neal Clinic, an actual turn-of-the-century medical facility, to create Babyland General Hospital.
Down, down, down. Babyland.
The original Babyland Hospital was a more modest location. Still a mansion, but an older, ricketier one. And also a real hospital at one point, so ghosts. And it consisted of intricate Cabbage Patch displays and, of course, the magical crystal tree that births Cabbage Patch babies out of its cabbage hole. Okay, now we're fast forwarding to 2009. It moved to a new location, and it's a massive $2.5 million, 70,000 square foot estate on 650 acres.
It's the Gatsby house. It is way too big to be for Cabbage Patch Kids. And that property was $2.5 million. In what year? 2009. What in rural Georgia cost $2.5 million after a housing crisis?
This new location is chock full of shiny new Cabbage Patch displays, marble tile floors, and these statues.
Those are the gargoyles that guard the castle. You know, like in horror movies, like they get stuck on the side of the road and then they gotta go like knock on some house like way off in the distance. You ran out of gas and the nearest house was like this weird place where they're birthing Cabbage Patches. Person that answers like in a full doctor's outfit that's like, "Can I help you? Come inside and see our dolls." I would literally be like, "I'm alright, I'm gonna die. Like, that's fine."
You get shoved into the cabbage hole.
Yeah, they're like, "Wouldn't you like to be like one of these?" Like in horror movies when like the painting follows you, those little like cement things like follow you as you come in. It's like sucks in the pacifier until you look and then it stops. You just hear like...
So it's got all these themed rooms with Cabbage Patch Kids set up in like little scenarios, like on a school bus or eating at a little cafeteria.
The one on the bottom right is dead.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely died.
Good thing that they're at a hospital.
So the thing that we like the most about this, it's also the thing that's really bizarre, the whole world-building facade that the workers have to keep up. The immersive entertainment part of this.
The immersion.
To the visitor, the Babyland General Hospital is a real hospital. All the workers are called LPNs, which stands for Licensed Patch Nurse. So you're greeted like that when you enter, like you have to check into the hospital. There's a section of the hospital that you can observe upon and enter. That's for Cabbage Patch preemies. A little bit of a sensitive subject in real life. Like,
it's a huge sensitive subject.
Yeah, just being like, these are the preemies. Haha, they're small. And they're also in like in a ward where they need to be IV'd.
Which means that they're like suffering.
Yeah.
Because they don't have enough nutrients.
Yes.
Which if you could create an immersive land, why would you include the part that would be horrible in scarring to a human, or let alone a child?
Well, the original point of that was to sell a smaller Cabbage Patch Kid.
For cheaper.
For cheaper.
That's horrible.
Yeah, the implications of that. They actually don't even sell the preemie dolls anymore. In the ward, there's LPNs there that are like taking care of the babies. So like hooking up the IVs. And inside the IVs is something called a magicillin. So it's like penicillin, but like the magical version.
Which actually, fun fact, a magicillin is what Moderna is using for the COVID vaccine. That's the one-shot one. The two-shot ones don't have it.
So they're hooked up to the IV, so they're fighting for their lives in the ward.
Mm-hmm. Wait, they're also hooked up to IVs, which also implies that they're dying, right?
That's why this is so weird. The preemies, apparently, like, the backstory is that they had an early frost, tying it in with the cabbage, like but they're not cabbage, but they are cabbage. There's also a stork who works there, too. So you can go in and you can touch the babies that are in the ward, and... and play along with the immersion. Ask the nurses, you know, who's not gonna make it through the night.
Hey, how much Imagicillin do we got, for real?
I need the Imagicillin stat!
Well, they don't have Imagicillin anymore. Because they had to produce a lot of it for the COVID vaccines.
Someone's job is to sit in a ward full of baby dolls and talk to them and sing to them and give them their IVs. Dream job?
I love that. Are you kidding me? If I had that job, I would like pretend it was like ER. I'd be like, we're losing him. Dude, I want to go to that place, dress up as a doctor, and roll in with a Cabbage Patch on like a sling.
Running?
And be like, we're losing him. We're losing him. Give me the Imagicillin, doctor. I'm like using a scalpel.
So obviously, the main event, the reason we drove through 650 acres of land and walked through 70,000 square feet of Babyland General Hospital's hallowed halls is the tree. The mother tree. The magic crystal tree.
Mother Teresa.
We came to watch a birth baby. Right out of Mother Cabbage's cabbage hole. Above the tree is these things called bunny bees, which are bunnies and also bees. But they also kind of have like a human resemblance.
Did you know, canonically, TV News Weekly's list of top 10 babies, this is actually the ugliest thing that's ever existed. Actually, canonically, this is an onion with ears. Also, is that 2 big feet attached to a torso?
Under this massive prop tree is where you can witness the infamous birthing ceremony. A very important LPN, an MVP LPN, if you will take Mother Tree's heartbeat, measure her dilation with calipers, and then the tree is pumped with Imagicillin.
I would like to think this tree is screaming the entire time, too. Ah! Ah!
She gets an epidural.
Yeah, which
implies pain.
Which means... So there's a lot of suffering in the Cabbage Patch universe.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
Since they're born within the confines of this hospital, like under controlled circumstances, why can't they avoid babies being born with like an early frost?
I bet you they did have that where they took out all that immersion, but they were number 2 on the travel land's most Babyland place in the world. So then they had to bump it up, and they said, we got to make this more of an exciting experience.
Let's watch a video.
Let's watch a Disney Channel birthing Cabbage Patch movie. Birthing video. Birthing video.
Mother Cabbage is actually dilated 10 leaves.
Okay, also, bless this lady's heart, though. I want to throw this out there. Babyland is still a tourist attraction you can go to today. Mm-hmm. This is based off an IP, an intellectual property, that was only popular in the 70s and 80s and then somewhat of the mid-90s. Kids have no idea who Cabbage Patches are nowadays. There is no major show that's on the networks that I'm aware of.
I think they're still banking on the fact that it's such a novelty, weird idea, and I think that's what still brings business.
While they were sprinkling their magic crystal dust. And that's what determines whether it'll be a girl or a boy. What are you hoping for, a girl or a boy?
I'm so sorry, I just thought of something.
Let's
Okay,
go
see how
ahead
the heads
and
are moving in the front?
check, Mother Cabbage.
No? What? The heads are moving?
Yeah, okay, you know that song? You know that yeah song? Heads will roll! Heads will roll! All blown!
And it goes, oh, with the head! And they start popping up.
Lot of balloons.
Sonogram on a tree.
Give her a great big dose of something called TLC. We also give her a great big dose of something called Imagicillin.
Just pumping her with all these kind of medicines.
It just loosens her leaves for before and after delivery.
Loosens her leaves.
Wait a minute, are we reading into this all wrong? Is this actually, like, supposed to educate kids on childbirth?
I think that the creators of this place just thought that, like, childbirth wasn't too, like, grotesque of a subject for a kid to learn. I think that they just think it's fun and cute.
Nothing's fun about getting an epidural.
No.
I'd like to think that during this, there's kids talking and she goes, shut up. Hey, shut up.
I'm sorry, this goes directly with what you were just talking about. These are the security guards.
What do you mean?
Imagine if this is what comes and takes you away if you're being
I thought
bad.
you were being serious.
No.
I was like, are you kidding me? That scared the
I just thought of the bit. It's the fuzz.
And it's funny because they don't even, like, try to put on a fake voice or whatever. They're actually just men, like big men under it going like, come with us. People say the U.S. military budget's too big, but I don't know. I honestly don't think it's too much. It's crowning.
It's crowning.
1, 2, 3.
Her hands are sopping wet. Did she cut a cord?
They cut the cord!
Certainly is proof that the interns remember to fertilize.
What does that imply?
What are you talking about? I don't mean to be crass here, but she's saying that, like, this tree fucks.
Wait, the interns? But I thought the bunny bees fertilized it.
Interns that work there, they fertilize the tree? Do the interns impregnate the tree?
I think she's just being cheeky.
No, that's...
She's going off script.
She starts auctioning it off. All right, can I get $5? I say $5 right now in the front. I got $3 in the back. What are you doing? What are you doing right now? We got $300. $300 with $40 in the 80s. You really want to do $300? You just got this baby.
Actually, when you go to this place, you can pay more to get like first dibs on the baby. Like you can name it and like get it. They don't realize the real life implications that they're teaching to the kids.
Yeah, just because you love it doesn't mean it's yours.
After the birth, the baby is taken away to the nursery, and where they get a checkup, a reflex test, and x-rays. Obviously, we've got the gift shop, which is most of the experience. Basically, this whole point of getting people here is to get them to buy a Cabbage Patch Kid. Like, the admission is free. There's also a birthday room, which has an upside-down cake as a chandelier, which I actually love. They have a grand ballroom.
Please explain this.
This beautiful room and back patio are available for rent for family reunions, weddings, meetings, and other special events.
You tell me who got married at Babyland. I quit my job right now and I work for you. I swear to God. Married at
That's
Babyland.
a real wedding.
Could you imagine the reception there and then like the DJ's playing like, all the crazy shit I did tonight. And like just knowing you're in like a Cabbage Patch birthing area and like, you know, like those YouTube videos that's like old music playing in the other room. I know what you're talking about. Be sitting in the room where they have like the incubator, just listening to all the crazy shit I did tonight. And the room's like shaking because like people are dancing and it's just like Cabbage Patch babies like.
And this is what, when you leave, that's what you see.
Guys.
Please come back for another shot of Imagicillin.
Who's Dr. Roberts? Xavier Roberts? He is giving everyone... So the shots are from him?